Hey guys, let us take a look at the 10 i8 master licenses. So the first one on the Macho Raceway Road Atlanta with the Chevrolet Corvette C70119. Going up to 4th gear and then right after that going down again into 3rd. Taking the corner tightly, not too much throttle as you see. The car will slide very quickly. It's very powerful, so you need to modulate the throttle. At these corners here, you can cut them as well. And for this corner, you don't need to necessarily use second gear. You can also use, second gear. You can also use 3rd. So the time was a 33,411. That's what I managed, and if 33,440 was required, so very close. Not my best run, but was good enough. So again, here on the right hand, you can cut the curb. Staying in 3rd gear all the time. And that's what I mean. You don't necessarily need to go into 2nd. Okay, this car here is the very first time in any GT, so I did test it in GT7. Both on Tsukuba and the Nordschleife. On Tsukuba I tested it against a very fitting rival with a very surprising result in my opinion. I mean, there are quite a few fitting rivals for this car. The best would be possibly the AMG Black Series, but it was not the car I tested it against. It's gonna be a surprise that the video will be released in January or February. And by the way, I almost went under 7 minutes with it on the Nordschleife. Anyway, the next test is in Grand Valley with the very first Corvette, the C1 from 58. So going down to 2nd gear here, again take the corners tightly, cut them slightly if it need to be, but only slightly. Going down to 1st here is probably advantageous, but might not be an absolute necessity. Anyway, we did a 26, now I didn't see the time, great. Anyway, let's take a look from the cockpit view. As you will see, I had to counter steer a lot. The car is quite tail happy, but very fun to drive, I think. Honestly, quite fun to drive. So the time is a 26,592, while a 26,770 was required. So again, not the greatest run, but definitely enough. Well, the car likes to slide a tad, a little bit, so you just be prepared to, counter steer a lot. You won't, be able to completely avoid it. So this car is returning from all the GTs, and thus I tested it in GT7 on the Nordschleife. Okay, the next test is with the Subaru Impreza Sedan WRX STI from 2004 on Tokyo Expressway, south clockwise. I think this is one of the finest Imprezas ever. Might be the best. I don't know, but it's definitely up there. So from 5th going down to 4th, you can take this very first corner in 3rd gear as well. I think the 4th is overall better because overall quicker. And through all of these S-turns, you just need to stay in 4th. $27,852 is what I managed, while a 28 dead was required, meaning 28.000. Okay, here again from 5th to 4th, slide, a controlled slide, has to be said. And, well, relatively easy this test, I think. I personally feel. So this car again is returning as the C1 from older titles. First time in GT4, obviously, if you think about the release of the car. It's released almost the same time as the game itself. GT4, I mean. So, I tested it in GT7 on the Nordschleife and Tsukuba. On Tsukuba I tested it against the 3 other Imprezas. I will link the runs, by the way, under this video again. Alright, the next test is on the Nordschleife with a Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren from 2009. So definitely right up my alley, this test, as it's on the Nordschleife. It was one of the very few tests I did multiple gold runs in, until I was, well, pretty pleased, let's put it this way. So going down here to 3rd gear, I think it is the better gear compared to the 2nd. Staying in 3rd all the time. Not too much throttle here, the car will spin out if you step on the throttle too early. You've seen it. It's the back stepped out, even if I waited a little bit. Full throttle here into 4th and then going down to 3rd gear again, better than 2nd. Take the corner tightly, again not too early on the throttle, and you'll be nicely out of the turn with a 49.884 while a 51.510 was required. Braking from 3rd to 2nd, taking it tightly. You don't need to take as much curb as I did. Going quickly up into 3rd and 4th. You can stay in 3rd, actually, you don't need to change into 4th. Definitely not a necessity. Gotta say, I'm quite proud of this time. I mean, I could improve even further still, possibly like half a second or more. But yeah, that was quite a nice run. Again, 51.510 was required, and I did a 48.8. Okay, almost 2 seconds quicker than the required goal time. Not too shabby. This car was present in every single GT since GT4, and I did test it on the Nordschleife and Tsukuba in GT Sport. Both of the videos are already released in their respective playlists, which I will again link in the description. I'm just remembering, there was this one legendary license test in GT4, right? Where you have to overtake 5 other Mercedeses, because 6 was the maximum car on track with your car 6. Around in an entire lap around the Nordschleife. That was one of the final license tests, right? Or was it the final license test? I'm not quite sure anymore. But yeah, that was quite challenging. The new tests are not that challenging, I think. Okay, next test with the Skyline from 73 on Mount Panorama. Quite a fitting name for the track, I think. If you look to the left side, you know why. Okay, this car is far trickier to drive than you think. Go down to 2nd gear. I gotta admit, my run was kinda messy, you know. But again, of course, quick enough. Up to 3rd gear here, and then go down to 2nd again. But do it a tad better than me, don't slide that much. And you'll easily be through with a gold. 37.643, that's what I did. Required was a 38.080. So still a decent run if you want. So this is full throttle going up to 4th gear. And here going down to 3rd. Here now. waiting a tad, and here going down to second. As you've seen, yeah, again, as you can see, my run was kind of messy. But yeah, the downhill part here is very challenging in a lot of cars, even in front-wheel drive cars. This car, if I remember correctly, is returning from older GTs, and I did test it in GT7 and its sibling. There is another Skyline from this very era, which is almost the exact same one. I did both hot lap them on the Nordschleife. This very part here on the track is very, very tricky. To get it just right is very difficult, especially with a, you know, older car, soft springs, soft suspension, old tires. Very difficult, but feels quite rewarding when you've done it right. Good. The next test is on Le Mans with the Ferrari 512 BB from '76 in the wet, by the way. So this test is basically all about throttle control. You just basically never go full throttle, brake early, obviously. Here second gear is definitely the right gear. Here, well, you could take both, but I guess third is better. Okay, well, there might be a few parts like here where you can go into full throttle, but it's probably not even necessary to go. I mean, it has its disadvantages to put the pedal to the metal, as the wheels will spin quite a bit. Okay, at 41.140, that's what we managed. A 41.820 was required, so quite a decent run, but nothing spectacular. You can rather easily be even quicker than I was. Just be a bit more tidy than I was. Here I did brake a tad too late, I would say. I slid a tad too much. And here as well. Far too much, you know, correcting. Here as well, I definitely slid too much, you know, too much to the left side, left quite a bit of time on track there as well. Yeah, still enough. So this very car is not necessarily returning. It was in every game since GT5, actually since GT5 Prologue. And I did test it on the Nordschleife, both the Nordschleife and Tsukuba in GT Sport. The car over time grew on me. I hated driving it in GT5 and GT Sport because I've avoided all of these old cars, especially when they had shitty tires on. But with GT7, or actually already in GT Sport, I kinda learned to like them. You know, you just need, well, to work harder behind the wheel with these cars, you know. A lot of counter steering required, so gotta take it for what it is. Alright, the next test is on, what is it, Barcelona, of course, yes, with the SF Super Formula. Quite the opposite the tests all around, going up to fifth gear, then going down to second. Take the corner tightly, not too early on the gas. Third gear through here, again going down to second, yes, and then up to third. Fourth through this corner, actually fifth, excuse me, and fifth or sixth, depends, through the last corner. And we're through with a 27.272, while a 27.830. So relatively close again. Down to second, taking it tightly, not too early on the gas. Straighten the wheel before you step on the gas. Yeah, quite sketchy here. 15 full throttle here, also full throttle. Do not lift. And my PC is making some progress again, so I don't see the picture while it's still recording, but it's soon back. I'm trying to remember what the next test is. It's still the same test, excuse me. I incorporated this view here because I think it looks pretty fucking awesome. So this car is, wait, this is the new one, right? The new Super Frangela. So this is first time in GT ever. So I did test it both on Tsukuba and the Nordschleife in GT7. The Tsukuba comparison will come at a much later date, like I would say summer, autumn 24. The Nordschleife hot lap is already on my channel. It is the fastest real life car hot lap of GT7 I have done yet. Because it probably is the fastest real life car in GT7, pretty surely it is. With the 19 model as well. They're quite even. But I will release an improved lap time also around autumn next year on the Nordschleife of this car. Okay, the next one is with the Kage LP400, which is insanely difficult to drive. Similarly to the 512 BB Ferrari, but worse actually. On Grand Valley here, going down to second gear. Slightly slidey. Underway again. Take this one tightly, this one as well. Step early on the gas as soon as you can. But yeah, you need to test for yourself how soon you can do that. Full throttle through here up to 4th gear. Slight lift here, 4th gear still. Lifting, slightly braking here. Quite messy, but still quite fast as well. Staying 4th gear again, and yeah. Going for the 38, 870, while a 39, 220 was required. A decent, nothing spectacular. One of the harder tests though of i8, I think. It does require a bit of work, and you actually need to push the car quite a bit, which is easier said than done. Again, it is an insane car. It has tiny tires, a lot of power, especially for back then, and especially for its very light weight. Soft springs, you know, shitty comfort soft tires, so yeah, it's a challenge to drive. My run, as so often, was quite messy. You can do definitely better, definitely cleaner, if not faster as well. Well, actually both. But yeah, as obviously my time was good enough for gold. Quite the cool looking car as well. I mean, imagine you were there in the 70s, what was that, 76 or what? And you've seen that car for the very first time on the road. I mean, it still looks like a spaceship, but in the 70s it was so outrageous, you know. Quick word on Grand Valley. While very much like the new iteration a lot, I think the original from the older GTs is a lot better. It's just classic original. I want to return it back, so yeah, I hope Polyphony will give us the original at some point as well. Good, so the second to last test is with the amazing Celica GT4 rally car on the new track Lewis in Canada, apparently. A country I would still very much like to visit. A country I know from many video games like Infamous, Alan Wake, and others, and Life is Strange, I think. Was it that? Or it was close to it. And TV shows like Twin Peaks from the 90s, a shitty 90s TV show, which was kinda good back then, I guess. I recently watched it because I've been watching it back then when I was a little wee boy with my parents, and yeah, it was quite a nostalgia. Anyway, this test, not too difficult. 47 316 what I managed. 47 440 is what it was required. What was required. I mean, objectively, it's not too difficult. I think I I have a feeling I'm not the best at the rally tests, so I barely got the gold, although I had to push quite a lot, so I personally did not find it too easy, but apparently most other players find these rally tests quite a bit easier than I do. Second gear through here, and I believe it's better, yes, to go to second gear here as well, to quickly go back to third again. Don't wait too long to go into third, because it will give you grip, switching to third. And, well, we're through. Gotta admit, the track does look pretty nice overall, and especially here in the night, really cool lighting effects. It's aesthetically, it's really nice, even during the day. I mean, I'm a snow guy, I like snow, so that's that. But I guess I'm just not very versed in rally, just not very good at it. The biggest problems I had in the license tests were this rally stage, because there are multiple licenses in the new 50 master licenses on this very track, and I found the track experience to be very difficult on this track as well. Cool car, by the way. Yes, it is returning from older titles. I did test it in GT7 on the Nordschleife. So the next and last test is on the Nordschleife again, with the Porsche 962, the legendary C from 88, I think, 86 or 88. Again, just as in the case with the McLaren SLR, I did improve my goal time a few times until I was quite satisfied. And yes, I am quite satisfied with this run. So fourth gear through here, staying in fourth until the very end, I think. Yes, do not change to fifth. Stay in fourth here as well. Go down to third here. Definitely third, the best. For this corner, the third is definitely the best as well. Yeah, quite sketchy there. Stay in third here as well. Until here. It will give you more grip if you switch to the fourth. And we're through. 55,669, while a 57,790 was required, so more than 2 seconds quicker than the required goal time. Stay in third gear here. I would stay in third, do not go into second. Switching to fourth on the downhill part, going down to third for more grip. Switching to fourth here again. You don't need to switch to third, but I guess it helps. And again, staying in fourth here, it's such a quick part of the track. The car is jumping around. Gearing is so important if you want to be quick, you know. The right gear can make such a huge change for a corner. Sometimes two gears are equally quick, but differently difficult. And sometimes they are both equally difficult and quick. It depends, you need to test. And now let's take a final look from the outside. It does look very good, this car, I think. One of the more, well, if you want some beautiful race cars out there. Quite a nice fit with the Nordschleife as well. I mean, being a race car in a Porsche, actually outrageously quick race car. Was it a... what was it back then? A Le Mans car, of course. Did Porsche not win Le Mans with this? Of course they did, right? And in these lighting conditions, I think it does look... the game does look quite photorealistic. Or at least very realistic. Okay guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was somewhat helpful. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe. Bye bye, until the next one.